Well, Zeke, while we have a little break in the action, we alluded to that Laser Performance Z420. I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about it. No, I was hoping to take a look at those pictures. There we go. The Laser Performance newly designed collegiate Z420 delivers increased performance, improved durability, safety, and guaranteed value. The Z420 has been designed to ensure the future success of collegiate sailing through the collaborative efforts of many college coaches, as well as sailing industry designers, experts, and racers. The results are distinctly evident when you sail the Z420. The team was able to reduce nearly 50 pounds from the weight of the existing Club 420 SCV and still make the hull 40% stiffer. So the levels of performance have completely jumped off the charts. And the pictures you're looking at here are some of the early models of the Z420. They come in a couple different options here. You can see some of these boats have the square top main. The 420 Omega has it all. The ultimate version of the Z420 includes the impressively light and rigid hull of the Z420, plus all the Go Fast goodies that make it an ultimate speed machine. Just a few of these features include the tapered mast, the fathead laminated sails, the adjustable jib leads, fully adjustable mast ram, and high aspect ratio foils. The Omega is the speediest and most fun collegiate boat on the market. So
there's that.
You'll be looking at some Z420s and possibly the Omega Ultimate version of the Z420 pretty soon, I imagine.
And it seems like the committee has decided to continue in this out-of-order structure. So Georgetown in blue and Charleston in red have just gotten underway and are on their first beat as the race ahead of them is now sailing out to the course. So we're on race number 102, which is Georgetown in blue versus Charleston in red.
So before Zeke completely starts telling the story from the side of Charleston, I'll let you know who's sailing for Georgetown. We've got Nevin Snow and Tori Lynch, Chris Barnard and Hillary Kenyon, Alex Post and Katya De Silva. At least to the best of our knowledge, unless they've made substitutions, but I don't think so.
And it looks pretty good for Charleston thus far. If that boat far screen left is doing well, which I think they are. They also once again seem to have a boat far screen right in a deep 6. I believe that might be Juan Magley in the deep 6 over here under the land. Boat 15 for Georgetown. Not sure. I think that's that might be Alex Post again. Maybe crossing everybody from the left. Nope.
Almost. But
not crossing Ben Spector.
So Zeke, I know you take it for granted you're only a year out, but the boat handling by these teams is really just remarkable. How many races have these guys sailed now? About 13 or
oh, they sailed at least 15 or 16.
15 or 16. Yeah, most of them 16 by this point. Been out here at it all day, and you see these roll tacks. Every one just huge, perfectly timed precision. College sailing, absolutely the most athletic, most finely tuned version of the sport.
Yeah, it's what they work on all year. 3 days a week at practice and every weekend at regattas. It should be perfect.
So we see at the top a jibe out from boat 16.
So Charleston's trying to get into a play 1 with no ace. Georgetown aggressively trying to go play 2, and it looks like Charleston should be able to, well, this is a tough setup here. Trying to do a mark trap at mark 1 all on starboard tack. You see Spector quickly bails around. And that is, in fact, Magley getting around in second as Mac Mace and Corey DeCalabas are in sixth for Charleston.
That one Magley, he is pretty speedy. That's what they say.
I've heard that somewhere. So
oh, red flag, a late red flag, and this one's going to be on Georgetown, it looks like.
Nope.
And by that I mean Charleston. So that would be Magley.
So that must have been a mark room scenario, or perhaps a changing course. Not really sure, don't have the right vantage point, but a spin there for Charleston will put them in, looks like a 1-4-6 with an opportunity to go into play 4. As you see, Magley wastes no time now trying to stay back.
But dead in the water after that. I guess that's what he wants to do, is stop right there.
And again, surprised to see Georgetown here in the 2-3 continue to race forward. One would think the play is behind them to try to go play 2 before Magley can take the last Georgetown boat, put him in last, and be in an aggressive play 4.
Now we see one of them stopping hard, coming
Yep.
all the way back. So is Magley going to get this done in time, or is he going to get hooked? Let's go in for a closer look here. And they take up their position. More of a finesse game than a full
nobody
frontal
really being
attack.
as aggressive as I thought that they would be here. As now we see the jibe, and do we see a big luff from Magley, and Seppi McAdams don't necessarily have a big piece of them, as Mac Mace here staying away. As Juan jibes back to try to get luffing rights reestablished. So this is the race back here. Whoever can get this pass back done sooner will have a winning combination.
Watch out for 17, setting up on the inside.
And I think that's Nevin Snow. And it looks like Georgetown may have executed this a little bit better than Charleston.
Oh, that was a close one. Did he get through on the back? Nobody's hands are in the air, so I guess they did. I wasn't sure he was going to clear that rudder. But then again, I'm about 1,200 feet away.
You call that 1,200 feet? That's a really good guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do this for a living,
Well, that's a good.
Got to
point.
estimate distances all the time.
So yeah, it seems like Georgetown is now sailing with an advantage over both Magley and Mace back here, and could be a good play too. If we go up to the leeward mark, we can see what's going on in front of them. And there's Spectre now stopping his boat. And I can't see that sail number. I can't tell who that is. I think it must be Alex Post.
In 13.
Yeah, so that must be Alex Post for Georgetown now trying to push Spectre around the mark, who's trying to condense this race and get his teammates back in it. So an interesting job there by Georgetown, electing not to go back and double team, but rather to have Alex play forward and go clear out Spectre early.
But you see, he cleared him out and then didn't round himself. So I think this is exactly what you're talking about, because this prevents Spectre from coming back at him.
And
He's shouting some instructions there. I think he's going to continue to push forward. They're pretty happy with what they've got, which looks like a 2-3-4.
Solid 2-3-4 for Georgetown. Nice job. So they were just able to get to that pass back before Juan Magley was able to put a gap in and go play 4.
What a leg there. All 3 boats executing. Not textbook, but very effective. I guess the risk, when you pull 2 boats back on that downwind leg, as we've seen, a little wind shift here or there, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. You do what Georgetown did here, go conservative at it, and you still keep that 2.
And a nice weave set up here by Georgetown for this final beat. You can see immediately their most advantaged player for Georgetown luffing their jib, trying to get further away from the 1 and keep things balanced.
Just got an update from race management We're going to end the day after race 106, the end of flight 5. So if you're trying to schedule your evening, stick with us a little bit longer. We've got 5 more races after this. Something like that. We're sailing a little bit out of order, but. So for tomorrow's schedule, that means we have an additional 13 races plus the whole Final Four round.
And Georgetown seems to be extending a little bit here against the Cougars on the last beat, doing a nice job spreading out their weave. As we see Charleston now getting desperate on the last beat. Nice breeze it looks like over there as well. Everybody's sort of in a line, so Spector might be able to get to 2 boats here as he now starts to come aggressively down and start riding boat 17 for Georgetown. So now is where it gets interesting. Now with just a 2-on-2 in the back, as 17 is now pinned by Charleston's first place boat, Ben Spector and Allie Blumenfeld.
Still got a ways to go, only about halfway up the beat.
And it looks like boat 3 for Charleston, Juan Magley, might have a little bit of nose into clear breeze over here to the left. It's hard to tell how far forward 16 is on him.
You could say he's certainly going faster in those other boats. Gaining leverage all the time.
Yep. And now Mace with a little bit of breathing room to the outside on the right as well. So perhaps Georgetown getting just a tiny bit vulnerable now as Spector continues to pin. I believe that's Nevin Snow for Georgetown. And look at Juan Magley showing some wheels, now heading back to the middle. And Mac Mace far to the outside in boat 1, far screen right. Just got flagged, so that doesn't help. Oh boy.
Quite a duck there.
Quite a duck. And so this whole thing is going to come down to Juan Magley, who's hanging on the shoulder there. If he can roll over the top, Charleston actually might have an opportunity to go into play 1 despite Mace just getting flagged, but sort of getting pinched off there. So Juan just gets pinched off. Not sure what he's doing at the moment. And Spector now aggressively back. They're going to try and go play 2.
Wow. That's a late call.
And now everybody going downwind and another dial down.
That is a tall order to go play 2 at this point. That 6th place boat is way back there.
Yeah, and Georgetown quickly recognizes it, and that boat 17 is now sailing back. They're thinking play 4 now, since they already have gotten the 1. They're trying to be play 4. And boat 18 for Georgetown. If they can get across the line, they're going to get it done.
They cannot. They are jibing around. So
another.
Did Charleston cross the line? I think they may have. Yeah, they realized.
But it's not gonna matter as Georgetown first and not last.
Well, I like the creativity at the end there. Certainly going down fighting.
Wow.
But not enough, and Georgetown picks that one up. So Georgetown a win over Charleston in race 102.
These last beats are just mind-boggling to me how quickly things are changing at the top. We've seen, it seems like every race we've watched, it ends up getting completely flipped over at the top and people sailing downwind on the upwinds. Not exactly crisp, clean team racing, but keeping it interesting. So that's a win for Georgetown. Charleston takes their first loss in this group. So now we go back a race to back to race 101.
Yeah, this is actually Roger Williams in black and Navy in yellow.
It's a smoke show.
The Yale St. Mary's race is coming up next. We're doing them a little bit out of order to make it difficult for everybody. But it keeps things moving, which is really the ultimate goal.
And Rod just taking Navy to Housetown, aren't they?
They sure are. Every team showing they're capable of beating and losing to nearly everyone. We see the top team, Yale, dropping 2, I think, overall. Or did they get a third loss? They did get a third loss.
Well,
Yale and Brown both. But we do have
Yale
a
has that
resale.
asterisk loss, yeah, which is against that was Navy, I believe.
Yes, that is in the books as a loss.
But G-Town has now beaten Charleston and Yale, but has a loss to Brown. So some good racing here.
Well, we knew it. We knew it all season. This was going to be a fight at the end. More than just 4 teams capable of winning a national championship. But only 4 are going to get to compete at the end of tomorrow. Well, once again, the plan is to go to race 106. This is race 101. We've already completed 102. That leaves only 4 more until the end of the day. That is, if the wind holds out for us. Well, we do have that next race coming up. Yale is back in against the Seahawks for race 103. Back at the starting line. Yale is in green. And St. Mary's in orange. It's 103. So if you didn't catch it before, we are doing them out of order. We had that one race canceled earlier, sent back to the starting line, but they started the next one. So now all the races are going to be out of order from here on in.
And I'm wondering when they plan to do that resale and if that was actually decided between Yale and Navy. It sounded like they were going to stop. So, okay, so they are going to do that resale today. So.
So I said 4 more races, but it's actually 5, including that resale.
It's going to get late. I'm gonna miss happy hour.
Coming up on 6:30 here on the East Coast. So if you've been out all day enjoying your weekend and you're back, maybe showering up, getting ready for a night out, you can turn on the team racing. Well, this race getting really spread out here. We've got the near pair coming closer to us than anyone else. Check out those that family out on the end of the pier, or whoever it is out on the end of the pier. That's a pretty good viewing spot. I think if it weren't private property, you'd see every coach out there with their binoculars.
I got to give the advantage to Yale here early. I think they're controlling like all 3 pairs. Or at least they're ahead of 3 pairs, or they were.
I still think they have the lead pair and the trailing pair. That middle Yale boat doesn't quite look like they're in touch, but no, it could be. It could be a potential pass-back situation here.
Well,
They're getting spat out the back.
Pass-back executed by St. Mary's, looking at a 2-3-6.
Well, that makes things interesting here. But watch out for this lead boat from Yale on our side getting lifted. They could easily move into the 1. Over on the other side, the boats are headed almost downwind, trying to pin. So we see these 2 pairs getting balanced, the back 2 pairs St. Mary's trying to slow on the far side. Yale trying to slow on the near side.
So Yale looks like they're thinking play 4. And can't tell who is that for Yale. Lobo. Yeah, I was going to say I think that's Cam Coleman closest to us, trying to put this gap in to be play 4 for Yale in green.
Who's crewing for Cam?
Cam is sailing with Marlena Fowler, I'm told.
That lead boat setting up for a mark trap here at Mark 1. Dangerously close to being outside the zone there. Well, it looks like Yale gets it done on that first beat, a 1.45, but the whole fleet coming to a stop here. Landy controlling operations on that top leg. St. Mary's setting up for something big here. Looking to get that teammate out of 6. Thinking about a double mark trap here, but they've still got a boat on the inside. Wow, Yale, excellent work playing back, doing unto others there, keeping that 9 boat in last.
Yeah, and now they are just in the danger zone. Boat 9 is, as Cam and Marlena are able to just kind of pin and just they can sit here for days. Well, they decide to tack. Maybe do another mark trap here as he's still not going around the course very fast, trying to keep this gap between that last pair and that middle group.
So nice try from St. Mary's, but Yale protects very well there on that 1.45, and now we're going to see some gapping as the top 2 St. Mary's boats attack boat 15. You got allergies, Zeke?
Yeah, I'm sneezing over here. I got the sniffles. I think the tide's going out. I'm allergic to the low tide.
I'm just
Is that a
glad
thing?
we're out of the low tide smell today. We're a little bit further down the beach, at least for now.
So Cam Coleman and Marlena continuing to gap. Classic play 4. We'll see how well St. Mary's can execute this 2-3-6. The 4 for Yale is doing an excellent job staying away. They came really far towards us inland here, staying away from the 2-3 for St. Mary's. You know, taking themselves out of the danger zone and even putting themselves in a potential play 1 opportunity with Graham Landy, who's still out in first for Yale.
In case you were wondering, the race that crossed behind them, that was Roger Williams and Navy. Roger Williams in the 5-6 in that one, so it looks like Navy's going to be picking up a win.
Really?
I believe.
How did that happen?
I've got that right. Yeah, well, we can watch the finish and make sure that I do have that right.
Last time we checked in with them, it was a blowout 1-2-3 for Roger Williams.
This is race 101. Oh boy, Roger Williams spinning. This is going to be much tighter than I thought. We should have checked in on this race.
Wow, really?
But I think...
I mean, 2 boats for Navy are already
Navy
finished.
already crossed there with a 1-2. Okay, so... a lot of circles, a lot of ins and outs, a lot of what
like
have
Navy
yous.
must have had a 1-2 or a 1-3, so that's a win for Navy
but either
over
way.
the Dodge. We think. And wow, I wonder what went wrong there for Roger Williams, because we checked in on Mark II and they were 1-2-3 lights out. I'd be interested to hear what happened there.
Well, on the Yale St. Mary's race, looks like Yale is thinking about
Looks like they've done it. Looks like they're already play one, huh?
pretty much a 1-2 at this point. Rocking that inside lane.
So great job by Chris Segerblum and his crew. Kate Gaumond doing a nice job staying away initially from the threats and then looking for that opportunity to go play one. And Cam Coleman still in the back, making sure that gap is still there. You still want that gap even though they've gone play one now. So really nice job by Yale executing, going from play 4 into play 1. Red looks like orange, don't it?
Yeah, we're lucky they never race each other. I think they did one year in the Final Four. For simplicity's sake, I just gave up.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Well, Yale just trying to put the finishing touches on this one. They've got that 1-2, keeping it spread out. They've got the ace in the hole as well. So St. Mary's going to try whatever they can here, try to find a little piece of heavy air. See if they can't get back in it, but Yale is looking pretty solid right now.
So I'm confused. What's going to happen next? Is it going to be Stanford, Georgetown? I think Stanford, Georgetown's going to be next.
I think we're just going to keep this order selling red and blue before black and yellow, since black and yellow are just now coming back from the finish. So next up will be race 105, Stanford, Georgetown. Following that should be 104, Navy, Brown. Then we've got race 106, followed by resale of the Yale race, and then we are adjourned for the evening. A long day for everybody involved. But it is awfully nice to be able to have a national championship where you do get through all these rounds. So many regattas get cut short due to conditions. It's looking pretty good for this one. Well, every time we say it's looking pretty good, it gets closer. These guys only halfway up the beat. The wind getting light out there, and St. Mary's is catching up. They're playing forward, which I think is probably the only option at this point. They're pushing, trying to get a piece of that second place boat, and their chances are getting better and better. Boat 8 taking a winger off on the left side. Now getting into some breeze.
Yeah, Yale looks a little bit vulnerable now to both edges as they've let the bad guys extend towards either side of them. So a shift either way, and St. Mary's could be looking decent. Yale just got to make sure they hold on to that one, as Cam Coleman's still doing a great job holding it down, holding that gap down. The 6 still pretty far behind. But if they give up the 1, it won't be pretty for Yale.
Okay, here's the payoff. We get to find out, and already Yale's looking back. They're playing back.
Yep.
So let's follow that boat just off the right of the screen, turning down.
So Yale aggressively now going play 2, and once again, boat's going downwind on this last beat.
Oh boy, Yale's boat 13 going much faster than
And here
St.
comes
Mary's
the
7.
the next Yale boat is also coming back after the first boat for St. Mary's has finished.
Pull back just a little bit. So forcing St. Mary's to finish and then getting back in it for a triple pass back here.
And yeah, this doesn't look good for St. Mary's, does it?
No, just catching a little break at the end, but not enough to really do anything to get their last place boat out.
And they're
Wow. We're going to see a duck out the back. What's boat 13 going to do? Are they going to cross here?
Well, that boat for St. Mary's
Yes.
has got to be dead in the water. I think that's John Wallace has just stopped now. So if Yale can tack and get across, and they can. Looks like at worst it'll be a 2-3-5 for Yale. Tough to see that finishing order.
Yeah. But either way.
That could, you know what? That could have been a 2-4-5 for Yale. No idea if that boat 7 for St. Mary's stuck their bow in there. That's a photo finish. We may have to report back on that score.
Yeah, you're right, Zeke. That was a tight one.